Alright, here we go. It's the next day. We're back again on our favorite project. Yesterday I was able to get the engine back on the subframe, mated the transmission, etc. So we're back in the garage. Back under the car. So I figured the next step would be to get all this mess of a wiring harness put back where it belongs, and you get the starter bolted back on, and get this front cat back on this pipe. Then we'll move around to the front of the engine when I don't know, I got some bolt holes that don't have bolts in them, which I'm pretty sure is the mount for the AC compressor. So I'll probably have to pull the balancer off, get that mounting bracket back on. Then we can work forward getting the power steering reservoir and all that stuff rearranged. We will need to put the intake plenum back on, because in order to get it under the car I had to take the plenum off. And when I took it off, I noticed that there is a broken stud, and I looked at the other one, and that's this little mounting ball thing for the engine cover. So I think what I'll do, instead of messing around trying to get that out, is just go take the other intake plenum and use it, switch everything over to it. So I'll go get that, then we'll bring you back when there's something to see. Okay, here we go. I'm going to take, this is the junkyard plenum with the broken little ball mount thing. So I'm just going to, everything I need I'm going to put over on this one. I've already switched the throttle body, so I'll go ahead and switch it back. They chose not to include this from the junkyard, so I'm using my original. Okay, gasket looks good. Just start that. Alright, well, you get the picture. I'm not even sure you can see me, but there's a couple hoses to switch, and the purge solenoid, brake booster hose, and there we go. Bring you back when we've got something else to see. Okay, everything on the plenum switched over. Got it down in the hole of doom, and all the bolts are started, so we'll run them down. Alright, there's that. This rear breather for the rear valve cover pops in right there. There's a connector for, I think this is the intake flap motor. Pop that on. Alright, before I fall off this ladder, I think that's about all we can do for right now up here. I'm going to go work on some stuff down below. Alright guys, we're back at the front of the engine now. I got some of this stuff hooked up. Got the power steering pump reservoir bolted back on. Figured out how this wire loom thing goes on there. Kind of had to go look at the old engine and find where I put the bolts back in to figure out where it went. One thing I did notice when I was hooking things up was that this one, this cam device, well, this piece of the motor mount goes in front of it, and I noticed it didn't want to plug in very well, so I looked at it a little closer, and that end broke right off. Not sure if I caused that or it happened during engine removal at the junkyard. Good thing I found it now. So, went and took it off the bad engine and stuck her in there, and everything seems good. I think I got all that the way it needs to be. Next, we're going to tackle putting the power steering pump pulley back on. I showed you how to use this kit. At least I used it in the original when we took this thing out. I'm not sure if it made the cut or not, but we'll show you now how to see if I remember how to use this kit to put this power steering pump pulley back on. Get you set up here. Alright. So if I remember right, this piece threads in to the end of the pump. That's tight enough. And pulley's a tapered fit. It kind of goes like that. And then this little pusher bearing deal pushes against that threaded thing. So, that can't be right. And I need to use something to grab a hold of it. So maybe that comes out. There. And it does that. This piece goes in here. Like so. Alright, I don't remember. I'll bring you back when I remember. Okay, now I got it. This piece pulls out the end of the jack screw, and it's threaded inside there. So that end threads in like so, and that's what we use to pull it on. And then I'm pretty sure this bearing deal goes on. Pulley on, there's no key, it's all just tapered fit. This is probably wrong, I'm going to give it a little tap so it doesn't fall off. Now, this piece will thread into the end of the pump. Now I will thread into the push screw. I get a good view of my elbow. That into that piece. Okay. Now I think we're right. So now, it's 5/8 on the end of the pusher, I know that. Now we should be able to hold back on that and run the big nut down and push the pump pulley onto the pump. I was kind of surprised that they still use this technology for this. I would have thought this would have gone away for something bigger, better, faster, and more, but apparently not. So the 20 bucks I paid the Mac tool salesman 25 years ago, whatever it was, looks like it may have paid off. think I've used this thing 3 times now. So. Maybe a little bit wobbly there, so let me check that out. Okay, I reattached the puller portion. I'm going to back this off a little bit. Make sure we clear. Come off a little bit more. Okay. I do seem to recall this now. There's no real positive stop on this. So it's kind of by feel. But the end of the shaft sticks out slightly past that pulley. So I'm going to get a straight edge and run across here and eyeball it. If I have to go more or less, I'll move it in or out to get it where I think it needs to be.